Welcome to the What's Everything podcast, where we fashion ourselves cinematic judge and jury. My name is JJ Crowder. I'm here with my co-host, Alec Burgess.
Let's get it.
We appreciate you tuning in. Go ahead and hit that follow, subscribe, like, bell notification buttons. Tell a friend about us. Tell a family member about us. Don't tell anybody related to any of these movies about us. So just keep the family friends at this point. Anyone else that you know that's human and not a doll. Because we're in week 3 of our movies featuring creepy dolls, and we're hitting the apex, in my opinion, of doll-based movies. I'm a little biased, but we'll get into that. But before we get into those movies and what we're doing, go check out our sponsor / partner, Dubby. You can go to dubby.gg. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see my tub of Dubby in front of us. They make energy powder. They do it with the main ingredient being green coffee bean extract. And it's money saving for sure. If you're a big energy drink person, cans of energy drinks will cost you a couple of bucks a piece, typically $1.50 at least. If they're got some sales, you can get up to, I think it's 30 servings with this, so you're about $1 or less, depending on how much you spend in the powders for a tub of powder. But it's per drink, right? So if you buy a tub, per drink, you're $1 or less, typically around there. So it's a great deal, saves you money, good energy. I love it. I use it pretty much daily at this point. In fact, this one's like getting really low. I'm like, shit, I'm gonna have to buy another tub. So yeah, go check them out. Have you got your tub, didn't you? You like it?
I do. It's pretty good.
I love it. Tastes good too, yeah. So anyway, go check them out. You can get 10% off. So not only do you save in general, just the retail price, but if you go in, you get 10% off using the code RVerdict, all one word, at checkout. So get that additional 10% off and enjoy even more savings in your energy drink adventures. So there it is. We appreciate you listening. Go check them out. w.gg, RVerdict at checkout for 10% off. And let's jump into Alec's favorite month of the podcast ever.
It's up there for sure.
Yeah, I know, right? So this week we are reviewing Child's Play. It was released November 9th, 1988. It was written by Don Mancini, John Lafia, and Tom Holland. Not that Tom Holland. It was directed by Tom Holland. Again, not that Tom Holland.
He wasn't born yet.
Yeah, not even close. It stars Catherine Hicks, Chris Sarandon, Alex Vincent, Brad Dourif, Dina Manoff, Tommy Swerdlow, Jack Colvin, Neil Guntoli, and Alan Wilder. It's about a dying serial killer who transfers his consciousness into a popular kids doll using voodoo. A struggling single mother gives her 6-year-old son the much sought-after doll for his birthday, and the doll slowly begins to show its true colors. What a slow play of a synopsis there. Show his true. He starts murdering motherfuckers.
Yeah, like right off the bat.
Yeah, right off the rip, we get going. Yeah. So this was my movie.
Yeah, your pick. Why, JJ?
Why? Because I had to. Listen, this was the first movie that I remember as a kid, like, where the dolls were murdering people, and it was goofy. And I remember thinking, I was only like 7 when it came out. I think I was probably like 10 or 11, maybe 12 when I saw it the first time. And I remember thinking, this isn't scary. Like, this is kind of goofy. And then there were moments where there were some good jump scares. And then, like, it was later on after I'd watched the movie and we're out and about and we go to I think it was like a Macy's or some big box store that we went to, and there was like a bunch of dolls. And I was like, maybe that movie stuck with me a little more than I thought. And so it was like probably the beginning of I don't enjoy dolls. Not because I was scared by this movie, but it got my brain thinking about how creepy as fuck that would be if a doll was alive, and whether it had a voodoo transferred spirit or it was just a fucking creepy doll out to get you or some sort of demonic spirit. Like, I don't give a shit what it is. That's a freaky concept. And so it got me. And so for me, I was like, anytime we do a movie, if we were to ever do a topic of dolls, or this was going to be my top choice. So it had to go. And ironically, the only one I've ever seen of the 5 movies that we did this month.
I saw 0 of the 5 movies we did this month.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But this just seems to echo the first 2 weeks where I was like, okay, cool. So I'm not actually opposed to doll movies. Just the fact that since I didn't watch any of them as a child, I don't have that childhood trauma following me into adulthood, because I watched this and I was like, oh, hey, Brad Dourif, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know him. And then Chris Sarandon, and I was like, okay, know him too. And so cast was great.
Yeah.
The only thing that got me, right, where I was like, oh, is when we first see Chucky kind of move on his own, right? And it's the news, watching the news, just being left down from the TV type of thing. And I was like, ooh, there it goes. But then past that, because the animation of him moving, where he's like floating, like it's bad, because this actually had me I was more scared watching the It TV show, Welcome to Derry, or whatever. And you have it was the same thing, like Pennywise floating across the ice in the last episode of season 1. And so I saw that and I was like, but then it was just like nothing really was super terrifying to the point of I don't know what it was. I mean, like people will swear up and down Chucky's the worst movie ever, or I've heard.
Sure.
And people, and I was like, okay, it's got to be bad. And I sit down and watch it. I was like, this isn't all that bad at all.
Yeah.
Like there's none of the suspense, none of the real kind of like jump scares going on. You get 1 or 2 that are like half-hearted, but mostly it's just like, hey, let's traumatize children.
Yeah. 100%.
Because it's not that good of a movie, first of all, and it doesn't have any of that real kind of abstract terror, like even at the point where Chucky's going after the guy who taught him the voodoo, and they're having just a very normal conversation back and forth with supposedly a homicidal, or at that point a very homicidal doll, and there's no kind of like tension or fear or thing that worry. And so I mean, it's just like it's almost missing something, missing that key component, that key ingredient. But I remember, at least when I was a kid, hearing up people like in high school, middle school, you got people talking like, oh, Chucky's this, Chucky's that, Chucky's terrifying. So of course I avoided it for 32 years, and then I sat down and watched it, and I was like, it's because I'm 32, right? If I'd watched this when I was 5, it's a completely different story.
Sure. 100%.
I'm traumatized for life. But because I watched it, I was like, this, it's like same as the first 2 weeks where I was just kind of like disappointed in the movie overall. I was like, this was supposed to be a lot more, or the expectations that I had for it were not there, because I was dreading this movie. This is where I was like, God damn, he put Chucky on.
That's so funny, because I thought that this would be the only one that you like giggled at. Like you're gonna be like fine with this, because to me this is more of a comedy than it is a horror. Like
I mean, yes and no, because I was like, it was just weird for me.
Yeah,
like, I didn't have the abstract terror. There was a couple things I giggled at, but I mean, I was perfectly fine eating my chocolate chip cookies and watching the movie and had no problem whatsoever. And then I got up and I went right to bed.
Yeah.
Which is the ultimate test of if a movie is scary or not.
100%. Well, and it's funny because I've always said that I think the Chucky doll's creepier before the spirit comes in. Like when they sit down on the couch or whatever, and it's like, hello, I'm Chucky. Like, will you be my friend? And his mouth's just like kind of barely, you're like, ew, like that's fucking weird. And then when the spirit comes in, and it's like, Dourif is like the perfect voice actor for this, and he's just going nuts, and I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. Like the one-liners and shit that he's got, like just fuck, and the fact that he like is like cat calling girls when he's a fucking doll, like I'm just like, this is fucking wild. And it's just so for me, it's more entertainment than it was. And I was so excited when I was a kid to see this movie because it's an R-rated movie and they're cursing and swearing and there's, the booty cheeks and all that. I was like, oh, this is exciting. It's not that scary, but so for me, this has always just been funny, more funny than scary. And it was, in the 80s, late 80s, it was pretty par for the course for horror. Like the campy horror was the thing back then, right? And I think it's funny because like people telling you that Child's Play and like Chucky's like I think the first Nightmare on Elm Street was like, if you think about the campy 80s and 90s movies that like the slasher genre, especially, like most of them aren't very scary. Even back then, they were like more tense. Like Friday the 13th had the cool twist at it, which I'm not going to, well, you probably know it because you are but you haven't seen it, I'm sure. No. But yeah, it had the twist and it was weird because you didn't know what the hell was going on. But Nightmare on Elm Street, like with Freddy Krueger, that first one, that's intense. Like that has some moments you're like, I don't ever want to go to sleep again. But but then it goes campy after that. Like from the first one on, we just get the super camp and it's about the gore and this movie just kind of fit right into that whole mold of let's make it goofy and campy and then have some weird violence, you know what I mean? And throw some kids in there for that existential dread of you can't hurt a kid, that's no good, right? And then you can't let this evil dude into the kid, that's fucked up. And so it's just all that, but there's nothing that I go, this is a good movie and this was scary. Like it was always like it's fucking weird and it's kind of funny. So I was just like, this is awesome.
Like, and the only part that really did a little bit where I was like, oh, that's, it had a little of that tension was when Chucky's going after what's his bucket in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Where he peeks out the window and all you catch is Chucky's legs going through and you have all this kind of this tension and everything of Chucky just going and conveniently grabbing the keys, right? But there's that added a little bit of tension where a big showdown is going to be coming. Soon, but it's still just a lot of that campy stuff that you were talking about where I was like, I'm not really upset by it or just nervous around it or scared of it because it's just too hokey maybe, and that just shows how much we've become desensitized, I think, because I had a similar thought when we did Halloween, the original Halloween probably a year ago at this point. Yeah, it's the same thing. Something that terrified my entire life. I'm never gonna watch it. And then I watched it. I was like, "This is stupid." like what the hell?
Yep.
So you're a bad influence is what I'm trying to really get at. Is
you're welcome. I'm trying to.
You're helping me get out of my comfort zone, and you're a bad influence.
That's right. I'm trying to make horror movies more accessible to you, my friend.
I kid you not. I gotta do the math, but it's probably been up to now 40 like horror movies that I've watched since I joined the podcast. And that is 40 more than I ever watched in my life.
Yes, sir. We got you. See, what I'm doing is what you don't realize. I'm laying the groundwork here. I'm setting you up. I've given you all these movies that you're like, this isn't that scary. This isn't that bad. And then one of these days I'm going to drop one on you and you're going to be like, you motherfucker. And then it's going to be over. But yeah, I knew this one wasn't going to be. I think you and Charles and I were talking in the Patreon at one point about, and he's like, nah, dude, you're going to be fine. Because it's just not, it's not that. Like, this isn't it. You know what I mean? I think the next two movies have more like, oh shit moments than this one does. This one's just like, and I think the part, like where you're first introduced to him interacting with the mom, like when she's like, talk to me, and she puts him near the fire, and this like tirade, you listen to me, you fucking bitch, you stupid slut, like I fucking kill. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But
0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah, but it's and then I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. Like, just throw him in the fire. Like,
yeah, what's he gonna do?
And then I start laughing too, because I'm like, the best part of this movie to me is like, if you sit down and think about this like thing from a realistic perspective, like, what are you gonna do? This fucking doll's coming at me with a fucking butcher knife. What the fuck do I care? Like, how much flexibility does this doll have? Like, He can't be very fast. His legs are made of fucking stuffing and goddamn, fabric, and they're like 2 inches long.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jog backwards and make fun of his ass the whole time he's coming after me. How am I scared of this right now?
Good.
Right?
Drop
Like,
kick him.
yeah, that too. Or I don't know. Let me go get some scissors.
Yeah.
It just and it only gets campier from there. Just so you know, like it becomes a joke because everybody's like, "This is not funny," but we loved it, and so then they make 12 more of them, and they're all just fucking hilarious. So yeah, it's great.
I don't have like a whole lot more because there really isn't a whole lot more to it.
Yeah, no.
And I've thought about ways where it's like, what could they have done to make this more scary? But I didn't come up with anything because there's not like any single one moment. It's just like, I mean, the beginning chase, that was the most intense part of the entire movie until you figure out like what's going on.
Yeah.
And then, once it's like, oh, he's in a doll, then you can kind of start piece everything together. But then there's that weird kind of almost grapey scene that you get in where she's going to track down the like where the doll came from. Like that's low on your priority list of where it came from. Don't try and trace the source. You don't need
who gives a shit?
It's
especially when you know it's the most sold doll in the fucking planet at the time.
Yeah.
Like, what does that matter?
So that was a whole weird sequence that got tossed in. I was just kind of going through. I was like, "There's nothing I would have done to change this movie to make it better." I don't think you can.
I don't think you can either. There's literally no point to this movie except for someone saying, "I'm going to make this movie about this creepy kid's toy."
Yeah, traumatized children.
Yeah, I mean, and at the time, especially because in the 80s, late 70s, all through the 80s and early 90s, like plushies and shit, and they're coming back, but like plushies and dolls, and you had Raggedy Ann and Andy, you had fucking Teddy Ruxpin, you had like, I mean, there was so much shit coming out at that time frame that was like Chucky. Yeah. That you're like, I mean, so yeah, they're just like, well, let's fucking either make the parents laugh, or if these kids get a hold of it when they're kids, like they'll never fucking want to play with the Teddy Ruxpin again. So yeah. Did you know, okay, side note, since we're talking about kids, did you ever I'm assuming you're way too young for Teddy Ruxpin to have been a thing in your life. Okay. So I had one. Well, what I didn't figure out until I was a teenager was that you could fucking take a tape, record yourself, throw it in this fucking Teddy Ruxpin, and it would fucking play the tape, and his mouth would move to the audio. Oh, fucking A, right. We used to fuck with our friends, of course, with it, and you'd record some boy, put it in there, and then you like switch him on accidentally, and oh my god, dude, you'd be like, what the fuck? And then we all laugh and joke. But yeah, you could do that shit with Teddy Ruxpin. Like, come here, motherfucker. Teddy Ruxpin was single-handedly the greatest fucking invention when I was a kid, and the most terrifying thing on the planet. It was genius shit.
Yeah.
This bear telling stories with his like caterpillar. I had both the bear and the caterpillar, his little buddy. You fucking put the tapes, the two different tapes, and they would talk to each other and shit. It was fucking genius. Creepy when you figured out the shit you could do with it.
Yeah. The thing that I think was closest to that would be Furbies. When I was around, and so you get the creepy ass Furby. If it malfunctioned, those eyes would pop open, and you'd be like, "Son of a bitch!"
Yeah, that's a whole hell lot of a note there for me.
They were big for like 2 years.
I remember. I was way too old for that shit, but yeah, no, Teddy Ruxpin. And then, toy makes me laugh now that I wish would have been something. I'm glad it wasn't, because for my own sake, but like the little cactus that like mimics the noise you make. Have you seen these things?
I haven't seen that.
Oh my god, you got to fucking Google like either TikTok or YouTube the dancing cactus or whatever. So these little babies see it and they make noise. They're like, ah, and then it goes, ah, and makes the same noise and like dances while it does it. Dude, fucking babies losing their shit. Like, again, and parents are, you can hear the parents in the background laughing their asses off. I'm like, all these poor kids. This is serial killers in the making. Like, one of these days, one of these fuckers is going to transfer herself into a goddamn fucking dancing cactus and murder everyone. And it's going to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this movie's terrible. Should we rate it?
Let's do it.
Okay. I'm going to give this movie a 1.5. And it's only getting that because of the nostalgia factor for me. And the fact that if you go into this movie looking at it as like a murder comedy, like a fucking violent slasher comedy, then this movie's actually pretty entertaining. It's not good by any stretch of the imagination, but there are some parts that are pretty fucking entertaining because they didn't have filters or the offensive shit that is offensive today was not even remotely offensive back then. And so the shit that they say and do and get away with in these movies is fucking hilarious. So that's 1.5 for me. It had probably been 20 years since I'd watched this movie. But it was fun to revisit it for me because it was fucking wild because it'd been a long time. But yeah, it's not a good movie. There are better things if you're in for scares and scary doll movies. So, all right, your turn, buddy.
It's going to be a 1.
It's fair.
I'll never watch it again. Not out of any fear. Once again, it's been 3 for 3 where it's just like, this is stupid. Like, I don't have any desire to rewatch it again. I don't see the point to it. Again, it's because I watched it as an adult, probably not as a child. I would have been traumatized for life had I watched this at probably another point in my life. But yeah, 1. It's all right, I guess. That's about it.
It is what it is, right? It's a movie. Yeah, there it is. Skip Child's Play unless you're like me and you're looking for that nostalgia factor because you watched it. Other than that, if you haven't watched it, you're not missing out on anything. So, Alec, tell everybody where they can find us when we're not fucking dodging voodoo infested dolls.
Happy to. Best place to find us is on YouTube, where you can see our smiling faces as we talk about terrible movies. Outside of that, the best place to get involved with the podcast is on Patreon at What's Our Verdict Reviews. We have votes going out there, so all of our voting stuff for topics, movies, everything goes through Patreon, and it is free. So you can just sign up to vote. Absolutely free. No payment required to get involved in the content creation of the podcast. Aside from that, there is a teeny little bit of a paywall, which behind we have about 700 bonus episodes, videos, contents, everything from bloopers all the way up to full-length episodes of movies that nobody should watch, but we did for you. Special thanks to our current patrons, Rich and CB. You guys are awesome. And with that, I will kick it back to the Wazir of WAP, because that's your favorite one. The Mauling Monarch, a JJ.
Hilarious. I just noticed we don't have our little names anymore. What happened there?
Nobody's going to know who we are.
No. Apparently we'll have to... Hey, we're back.
There it is.
Apparently it was turned off at some point. I don't know. I wonder how long that's been off. I've not even noticed. I bet it's been off for a fucking while, if I'm being honest. So yeah, there's a fun fact for you. Fucking shit, wasn't even paying attention. So yeah, with that, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Cinemagic out.
Whoa!